びの時代は終わる。
Hi guys, it's your boy Ambush. Whatifer here, back with another video. But before we begin, I just would like to say that it has been a while since I uploaded a video, and the reason for that is because of me losing the passion that I once had for making videos as well as getting more responsibilities. With that out of the way, let's begin the story.
Once upon a time, in a small town nestled in the heart of a dense forest, there stood a village known as Oakridge. Surrounded by towering trees, the town had a certain air of mystery about it. Locals whispered of strange occurrences within the woods, tales of restless spirits and unseen creatures lurking in the shadows. One autumn evening, a group of curious teenagers decided to venture into the heart of the forest. There was Luke, the adventurous leader of the group, Sarah, his skeptical girlfriend, Mark, the joker, and Emily, the quiet and reserved one. They believed the stories to be nothing more than mere legends, ripe for exploration and adventure. As dusk settled over Oakridge, the group gathered their supplies, flashlights, backpacks, and a sense of thrill, and set off into the darkening woods. The forest was eerily quiet, with only the rustling of leaves beneath their feet breaking the silence. They followed an overgrown path, seemingly leading to an unknown destination. After what felt like hours of walking, the group stumbled upon an ancient, dilapidated cabin hidden deep within the woods. The structure stood ominously, its windows boarded up and its wooden door creaking with every gust of wind. Intrigued, they decided to investigate further. With trepidation, Luke pushed open the door, revealing a dimly lit interior. Dust particles danced in the air, disturbed by their entry. The teenagers cautiously stepped inside, their flashlights casting eerie shadows on the decaying walls. The air grew heavy, and a sense of foreboding settled upon them. As they explored the cabin, a whispered voice suddenly filled the room. "Get out!" Before it's too late, the voice said, seemingly coming from nowhere. The group exchanged nervous glances, their hearts pounding in their chests. Ignoring the warning, they continued their exploration, dismissing it as a trick of the imagination. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed from upstairs, sending chills down their spines. They raced up the creaking staircase, only to find an old, tattered journal lying on the floor. Emily, the most curious of the group, picked it up and began reading aloud from its pages. "To all those who dare to enter these woods, beware. Malevolent spirits dwell here, cursed by an ancient ritual gone wrong. They yearn for the souls of the living, feeding on fear and desperation. Leave now, or face a fate worse than death." Before they could react, the cabin began to tremble. The wall seemed to close in, trapping them within its grasp. Panic filled the room as the ghostly figures of tormented souls materialized around them, their eyes filled with an otherworldly hunger. Desperate to escape, the group sprinted towards the door, their every step muffled by the ethereal whispers growing louder with each passing moment. Just as they reached the threshold, a spectral hand reached out, grasping Luke's ankle, threatening to drag him into the depths of darkness. With a surge of adrenaline, Luke broke free and bolted out of the cabin, his friends close behind. They ran through the woods, branches slashing at their faces, and the eerie whispers echoing in their ears. Breathless and terrified, they emerged from the forest, collapsing onto the ground, grateful to be alive. From that day forward, the group never spoke of their encounter in the Whispering Woods, but their nights were haunted by the haunting whispers, a constant reminder of the darkness that lurked within.
Once upon a time, in a small, isolated town nestled deep within a dense forest, there was a legend that chilled the bones of the bravest souls. The tale spoke of a cursed mansion that stood on the outskirts of the town, hidden amidst gnarled trees and whispered nightmares. One stormy night, a group of friends named Sarah, Mark, Emily, and Alex decided to unravel the mysteries behind the haunted mansion. Driven by curiosity and a thirst for adventure, they armed themselves with flashlights and approached the dilapidated structure that seemed to creak in protest against their intrusion. As they stepped inside, the air turned frigid and an eerie silence hung heavy in the stale atmosphere. The interior of the mansion was a maze of cobweb-laden corridors and crumbling walls that whispered of forgotten secrets. The group ventured deeper, their hearts pounding in anticipation. They entered a room adorned with antique mirrors, their surfaces reflecting distorted images that sent shivers down their spines. Suddenly, the door behind them slammed shut, trapping them inside. Panic gripped their hearts, and they realized they were not alone. Soft footsteps echoed through the hallway, growing closer with each passing moment. Sarah, the group's fearless leader, gathered her waning courage and urged her friends to press forward. But as they explored further, the mansion seemed to twist and warp, its corridors leading them in circles. The once sturdy walls now pulsated with a malevolent energy, trapping them in a nightmarish dance. One by one, they fell victim to the mansion's wicked grip. Emily disappeared without a trace, her terrified screams swallowed by the oppressive darkness. Mark, driven to madness, turned on his friends, his eyes hollow and filled with an insatiable hunger for their demise. Alex, their beacon of hope, vanished into thin air, leaving Sarah alone, teetering on the precipice of despair. Sarah, desperate to escape the mansion's clutches, stumbled upon a hidden room. It was filled with cryptic symbols and a flickering candle that bathed the chamber in an otherworldly glow. Her trembling hands traced the symbols etched on the walls, hoping to uncover a means of salvation. But as the last symbol was revealed, the room shook violently, threatening to collapse upon her. The walls bled a dark, viscous substance, and the mansion's wrath manifested in a grotesque form. A towering, shadowy figure, shrouded in misery and torment. Sarah, paralyzed by fear, felt the entity's gaze pierce through her soul. It reached out with elongated, skeletal fingers, its touch searing her flesh. Yet, in that moment of despair, a surge of defiance coursed through her veins. Summoning every ounce of strength, Sarah cried out, releasing a wave of pure light that engulfed the mansion. The evil entity screeched, recoiling from the brilliance, and faded into the darkness from which it emerged. The mansion collapsed around Sarah, and she found herself outside, gasping for air, the nightmarish ordeal finally over. The sun began to rise, casting its warm glow upon the broken ruins of the cursed mansion. Sarah, battered and bruised, rejoined the world, forever haunted by the horrors she had witnessed. The tale of the mansion would become a cautionary legend, warning others of the darkness that lurked within its walls. And as for Sarah and her friends, they swore never to speak of the mansion again, their friendship forever altered by the horrors they had endured in that chilling labyrinth of nightmares.
Deep in the heart of the dense, forbidding forest stood an old cabin, its decaying wooden frame barely visible through the overgrown foliage. Local legends whispered of its dark past and warned of the evil that lurked within its walls. The townsfolk knew to stay far away, never venturing near, for those who did were said to vanish without a trace. One stormy night, a group of adventurous teenagers dared each other to explore the infamous cabin. They were drawn to the forbidden tales, eager to uncover the truth hidden within the dilapidated structure. John, Sarah, Mike, and Emily gathered their courage and embarked on their treacherous journey. The wind howled through the trees as they pushed their way past tangled branches, their flashlights casting eerie shadows on the forest floor. Each step took them closer to the cabin's foreboding presence. The air grew heavy, and a sense of unease settled upon them, but curiosity propelled them forward. Finally, they arrived at the cabin's front door, creaking on rusty hinges. The dim light of their flashlights revealed a room frozen in time. Dust-covered furniture lay scattered about, as if abandoned in haste. Cobwebs hung from the ceiling, shrouding the room in a sinister veil. Ignoring the foreboding atmosphere, the group split up to search for any clues. John ventured into the kitchen while Sarah and Mike explored the living room. Emily cautiously ascended the stairs, drawn to the mysteries that awaited her above. As Emily reached the top of the staircase, the door to one of the bedrooms ominously swung open. A chill ran down her spine, but she couldn't resist the pull. She cautiously approached the open door, her heart pounding in her chest. Inside, she discovered a child's bedroom, covered in a thick layer of dust. Forgotten toys and a small, tattered teddy bear lay scattered across the floor. Something about the room felt wrong, as if it held a secret darkness. Suddenly, Emily heard a faint whisper emanating from the closet. She hesitated, unsure of whether to investigate, but curiosity won over fear, and she slowly opened the closet door, revealing a narrow, hidden passage behind it. With trepidation, Emily stepped into the dark corridor, her flashlight guiding the way. The passage twisted and turned, leading her deeper into the heart of the cabin. The walls seemed to close in on her, and a sense of suffocating dread filled the air. After what felt like an eternity, Emily emerged into a hidden chamber bathed in an eerie green glow. The sight before her froze her in place. In the center of the room stood a circle of candles, flickering with an otherworldly flame. Symbols were etched into the cold stone floor, and a foul odor permeated the air. As Emily took a step back, she inadvertently knocked over one of the candles, extinguishing its flame. In an instant, the room descended into darkness. Panic set in as she fumbled for her flashlight, desperately trying to find her way out. But it was too late. The chamber came alive with sinister whispers, echoing from unseen corners. The symbols on the floor began to glow, and a malevolent force gripped Emily, pulling her toward the center of the room. Her screams echoed through the cabin, but her friends were too far away to save her. John, Sarah, and Mike raced up the stairs, following the sound of Emily's desperate cries. But when they reached the hidden chamber, all that remained was darkness and an overwhelming sense of evil. Emily was gone, swallowed by the depths of the forgotten cabin. Filled with grief and terror, the remaining friends knew they had to escape before they too fell victim to the cabin's curse. They sprinted down the stairs, their fear fueling their desperate flight. As they burst through the front door, a deafening thunderclap echoed through the forest, shaking the very ground beneath them. The storm unleashed its full fury, rain pouring down in torrents, as if nature itself was mourning Emily's fate. But their ordeal was not over. The cabin, enraged by their escape, unleashed its malevolent presence upon them. The trees twisted and contorted, their branches becoming gnarled claws reaching out to snatch the terrified trio. They ran blindly through the night, their screams drowned by the howling wind. The forest seemed endless, a labyrinth designed to keep them trapped forever. The darkness seemed alive, shifting and whispering as if mocking their feeble attempts to escape. Just as they were about to succumb to the cabin's grip, a faint glimmer of light pierced the darkness. A narrow path materialized, leading them away from the clutches of the forest. They followed it with renewed hope, desperate for salvation. Gasping for breath, they stumbled into a clearing, their bodies drenched and trembling. The storm raged on, but the presence of the cabin was no longer felt. They were free. The cursed abode lay far behind, lost in the depths of the haunted woods. Though scarred by their harrowing encounter, John, Sarah, and Mike vowed to keep the memory of Emily alive. They would never forget the horrors they had witnessed, nor the sacrifice their friend had made. Years later, the townsfolk still spoke of the forgotten cabin, a place of darkness and despair. Its secrets remained locked within its decaying walls, a reminder of the evil that dwelled in the shadows. And as the whispers of its haunted past spread, the curious and the foolhardy continued to test their fate, never heeding the warnings of those who had escaped its clutches. But deep in the hearts of those who had survived, the memory of the forgotten cabin would forever haunt their dreams, a chilling reminder that some places should remain buried in darkness and left undisturbed.
I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please do like or subscribe and comment down below if you guys want me to do more of these types of video. See you guys on the flip side. Bye.